everybody. This is your boy, Walter Clay Simmons, or Pastor C. Hey, man, I am finally back in the place that I love to be, the place where I'm talking, running my mouth, trying to help people, trying to connect the dots to life, not only on the spiritual side, but also the natural side. I feel like that in this day and time, the reason why some of us are not necessarily succeeding, not necessarily hitting our goal, not necessarily doing the things that we set out to do, is because we don't necessarily have a clear path. We don't have a clear path, a clear plan as for where we want to go. And here's what I run into. I run into culturally, especially around my age group, and even those that are some younger and even some older, that they believe that planning sometimes is overrated. You know, we sit down and our idea of planning, strategizing, figuring out what our next move is, it's in our head. You know, we'll sit down and because again, you know, especially with being a black man, we got to be strong. You know, and we're living in a day and time to where if people believe that you need their help, a lot of times they're not really willing to help. You know, most of the time, people that believe you need their help, sometimes I pray for you, man. Hey, I'm gonna keep you lifted, man. Hey, if you need anything, call me. Well, I'm calling you now. But so I want to try to give us some keys, give us some tools to be able to go back and reference to be able to get over the hump, to maybe get those things done. I know I'm not the only one that has gotten to a place in life to where maybe you didn't like the results that life was yielding. You know, maybe you say, okay, tell you what, I'm going to change careers. I'm going to move. I'm going to move and relocate, whole nother state. You know what? This is going to be the year I'm going to get back out there, get back on the horse, start a relationship. You know what? I've been thinking about it and dreaming about it. People have been asking me about my business. This is going to be the day. This is going to be the year. This is going to be the month. This is going to be the time. Listen, I got you. Sit tight. I got you. And it's going to be quick. It's not going to take us long. I've got 6 keys that I want to help you with. I want to help you understand there are 6 steps to process. Oftentimes, when we're going through process or going through trying to get to the next level, it's called the process. I'm a barber also. Been a barber for over 20 years. One of the most hateful things that I deal with from a client is when they want to change from one style to another, but it's drastic. And so they saw the end result and was like, yeah, this is going to look good. You know, I'm going to rock this, whatever the case may be. But they missed that middle piece of the process. There's an ugly period in there. There's a period in there where we can't cut it. There's a period there where we can't do this to it, we can't do that to it because we have a goal that we're trying to reach. It's the same thing with life. It's the exact same thing. So we got to have a blueprint. We got to have a strategy. I got you. 6 keys or 6 steps to process. The first thing that we've got to do with anything that we're trying to accomplish, we got to get a clear picture. We got to get a clear picture. If you don't know where you're trying to go, you'll find yourself running around and doing a lot of things, saying a lot of things, but really accomplishing very little. You'll find yourself accomplishing very little because you never had a clear plan. And what I mean by having a clear picture, what's going to be the first step that I need to take? You know, and it gets broader and broader. In the next 30 to 90 days, what should I be doing? You know, in the next 2 weeks, the next, you know, each day, what should I be doing? Because I have a clear picture now, I now have something that I can reference. I can now reference and see, okay, how am I coming? Am I on the right path? You know, did I veer a little bit too far off? You know, but you've got to have a clear picture. Now, let me tell you something about a clear picture. The misconception is that if I have an idea or I have a vision, and then I tell my good friend, tell my compadre, hey, bro, hey, brother, hey, sister, hey, mom, hey, dad, this is what I'm seeing. This is what I want to do, right? The misconception is that they have to see it also. They don't have to see it. So have you ever noticed you'll go to try to explain to them what it is you're doing, And again, they love you. They're being supportive, but then they're trying to understand it. They're trying to see it. So they're asking questions, and you give them that question. And have you noticed that after you go around and around, some of your zeal begins to leave. Some of your excitement, some of your I couldn't wait to explain this begins to leave because there's a slight piece of frustration with trying to get someone to understand or see your vision. That's the misconception. The misconception is they don't have to see it because it's not their vision. Now, if you want moral support, I'm only telling you this for moral support. Sit back and watch because I have the vision, all right? But then here's the second thing. The second thing is, once you get a clear picture, you then have to spend time visualizing where you're going. Culturally, there's two things that we struggle with. There's two things we struggle with culturally. One, we struggle with that the law of attraction is real and that you don't have to understand it for it to work. Now, the more you understand it, the better it works for you. Same is true with God. The more you understand him and understand his ways, the better it'll work for you. But the misconception is those two things work without you understanding them. So here it is. Why did you say that? I said that because of this. Once I get a clear picture of what I want to accomplish, of how I want to do it, now I sit back and visualize it. Yeah, I'm not moving. I may not even be involving anybody else, but now I sit back, close my eyes, and I visualize. I visualize myself in that place. I visualize myself functioning in that place and from that place. So that, watch this, when I get to that place, it's not so foreign. Yeah, that was actually good. That was actually good. That wasn't even in the notes, but that was actually good. So I spend time visualizing where I'm going. I want to spend time visualizing where I'm going because, again, when I get there, I don't want to be the guy that now I'm trying to get ready. So I have to start visualizing it. So now I'm beginning to tap into my subconscious. Well, by definition, what is the job of the subconscious? The job of the subconscious is to give us our desires, to give us what we want. Now, here's that little sneaky, tricky piece about the subconscious. It doesn't know the difference between make-believe and reality. So if I'm visualizing myself failing, I'm visualizing myself not succeeding, I'm visualizing myself in an unhappy place, I'm visualizing myself without love. I'm visualizing myself through brokenness. Watch this. The subconscious does not know the difference. And so now the subconscious is beginning to bring things to you that match what your desire was. Look, that's not even what we're talking about. That's for a whole nother day. But you've got to visualize where you're going. Let me visualize where I'm going. So when I get in that place, watch this. Things will start to now begin to look familiar because, again, here it is. God, that law of attraction, is beginning to bring things closer to me. And now the things that I'm visualizing, I'm starting to begin to see. All right? So first thing is we got to get a clear picture. Then after we get a clear picture, we got to spend time visualizing where we're going. Then here's number three. So as a man thinketh, so is he. That's Bible, right? If you think that you cannot do it, it does not matter what you try, it does not matter what you do, it won't work. Because you already believe within yourself that it won't work. That's the very reason why, watch this, that's the very reason why, even as it pertains to relationships, we'll believe that this particular person is either and I didn't even know that this was even a thing, out of my league. Again, I didn't know that was a thing, but we will believe they're out of my league, or maybe I'm not good enough for them. Watch this. That is something, that's an energy that's not being put off from that person. That is what you've told yourself inwardly. Inwardly, you've told yourself, because again, watch this. Here's a word. Here's a thing. Because we had past failures, right? Whether that was past failed businesses, past failed relationships, whether they were just friendship relationship or romantic relationships, we believe that that's who we are, right? But in actuality, that's not who we are. But here it is. Inwardly, we've been saying, well, I guess it's not my time. Inwardly, we've been saying, I guess it won't work. Inwardly, that's what we've been saying. So as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So although you put on the clothes, you get the cut, you got the car, you got all those things, the inward man says, I'm not enough. The inward man says, I can't do it. The inward man says, it won't work. And so guess what? It never does. It's just like this saying. It's this saying that I love to use as a reference point about so is a man thinking, so is he. You wake up, and I know I'm not the only one. You've woken up, and it was one of those nights. And watch this. When your feet hit the floor, it wasn't necessarily, Lord, I thank you. But when your feet hit the floor, you said, this is going to be one of the worst days. And guess what? It has always been every time, because that's what we asked for. What would happen? What would happen? So is a man thinking, so is he. What would happen if what we did, because again, all these go together. With number two, while I'm spending time visualizing where I'm going, I'm feeding myself. I'm speaking to myself. You're more than enough. Yeah, you had some past failures, but those past failures weren't past failures. We learned from those. So those were case studies. Yeah, you got to take a chance. Yeah, what if we were taking those times while we were visualizing to feed ourselves and fertilize ourselves? Watch this, so that when we do go out, we're ready to go. Now, you got to understand this. You got to understand, okay, brother preacher man, brother Barber, brother Clay, brother man, whatever you want to call me, right? I understand you. I hear you. You're saying, well, here's the deal. I'm just not ready yet. I'm not ready for this yet. I'm not ready for the relationship. I'm not ready for the business yet. Watch this. I'm not ready to go back to God yet. That's a whole nother one right there. I'm not ready for church yet. You're not ready for all these things. Here's the news flash. The news flash is God never puts you in things that you're ready for or big enough for. He always puts you in things that are way bigger than you, that you're not ready for, just so that he can grow you into it.